Hi, all you lovely people on the internets, especially those of you who were just minutes ago jerking off. We're back for another comic book review.
You had such a good intro there, Chris, and you just have to throw that in there.
I don't like doing things normal.
It's alright.
You should know this by now.
I know I should know better, but I still keep coming to join you.
Yes. Well, it's because I'm fucking adorable.
Face. That face.
Anyway, it's once again myself, Chris.
And me, Casey.
And this picture of JP that we're using to represent JP.
And Mr. Bear. And Teddy.
This is Teddy from
That's
Persona
Teddy.
4. Yeah. Anyway, of course we are back to review another comic from the past, something that I personally feel a lot more people should check out. And it is actually based off one of my, it's written and drawn by one of my favorite animators and writers, Sam Keith.
Okay.
I don't know, like, for instance, that new, he did a new Arkham, it was like Arkham Madness or something.
Yeah, Arkham Madness.
He's the artist who did that. If you saw it, it's kind of drawn a little
it's kind of drawn, like, it's really sort of trippy.
Yeah, it's drawn trippy, but he's really good, like, when they're doing the single shots of women, he is great at drawing,
the details.
like, accurate portrayals of women. They're not...
It's not like the Twiggies.
Those boobs would break your stomach in half. I don't get it.
I always love when the animators choose to draw the woman and she's like turning around all sassy, but it implies her spine is broken.
You should never get whiplash from turning your chest. Just saying. Anyway, today we're going to be looking at, and this was a comic back in the day with MTV, the Maxx. Now, Maxx has been done for quite a while. I think it finished in '97.
But I do know that they still do release a couple of comics every so often.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, he shows up in a lot of offshots, that sort of thing. The Maxx is, he gets around, but we're going to be talking about the quintessential, like, the starter here. Maxx is completely out. If you want the whole series, it's 6 trades. I think they stopped producing them, honestly. That's why I ordered them all in bulk, because I was like, I wanted all of this at once.
I think it is something that is harder to find, just for what I know from work, but...
And it was also done, as I was saying earlier, as one of the MTV, what was that branch of MTV? The Oddities? It was This and the Head. They always showed This and the Head back to back. And it was a fantastic cartoon show, too, because they literally just took the comic and animated it.
And see, and that is where I'm familiar with the Maxx, and so I've never actually read... I didn't actually know it was a comic.
You didn't? Oh, okay.
I didn't. I just knew the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then it wasn't until later in life that I found out, like, I think I saw it on, like, a shelf, and I was like, what?
Yeah, and just a little one note about the cartoon. I can't remember who they got to voice Julie Winters, the main girl in it, but she hasn't done too much. She became a romance writer, but she voiced, if you ever played StarCraft, who was that chick who became the queen of the insect people? Sarah Killigan?
I think, something
Kerrigan?
like that.
She voiced her in the first game, the first StarCraft, and she's done voice acting very occasionally. She should really get back into it. She is amazing in that show. Like, she should have won awards. I fucking unabashedly love her voice. I don't say that very often about women, but her voice is... tingles. Tingles. I think that might have been the name of the cat from Too Many Cooks.
Yeah, Tingles, I think.
We were discussing Too Many Cooks earlier. Anyway, getting sidetracked. So the Maxx. The Maxx, I'm just going to say this up front, is a very hard one to kind of give a plot synopsis to, because it's a messed up comic. There's a lot of deep-rooted psychology going into this, and I don't mean like psychology classes. Like, each of the characters in their own, they're all messed up. But the most basic way I can kind of describe the story is it's following the Maxx. Now, he's a homeless man who is constantly wearing this, as you can see, the purple and yellow attire there. He's got claws on his hands, and he's homeless in the real world. So he's constantly kind of switching between the real world and what is called the Outback, where he's protecting his jungle queen. He's a lot more powerful over there. That's where you meet a lot of really weird creatures and everything. It's in Australia. Is the Outback. Like a very odd... it's a different basic plane of thought. And he switches between these like without his will, and it kind of gets him into trouble a lot. He's constantly getting arrested because he thinks he's beating up a monster, and it's a person.
Yeah. I actually remember that.
And he's always getting saved by Julie Winters. She's a freelance social worker, and he's kind of like he hasn't really told her, but her outback alternative is the leopard queen, the one he's constantly protecting. So
yeah.
even in the real world, he's not stalking her or anything, but he's always like looking out for her.
Yeah,
like, her
he's
well-being.
always sort of close by. He's trying to protect her, and so I remember by switching in and out between like the real world and then like sort of the world in his mind or whatever you want to call it. He's always getting into trouble. I do remember that. Yeah.
It's a little different, and the transitions, if I could compare them to something, if you ever saw Cool World. Like how the guy kept getting swapped into Cool World and out of it without really... It's kind of like that. But at the same time this is going on, there's been a new serial killer showing up in town called Mr. Gong. And he's a serial killer and a rapist, and he actually can go back and forth himself. He's like basically like a witch doctor there. Like he can use magic, and he can use magic in the real world too. And he's used it to bring out a whole army of these creatures called Izzes. They're these little... These little white guys in the outback, they don't really do much. They're kind of dumb, but when you bring them over into the real world, they change into black. They get like super sharp teeth. They're super violent. And as an added note, if you put them in clothing, people see them as human beings wearing that clothing.
Yeah.
So they're very easy to kind of hide. So Mr. Gone, I'm not going to get too much into it, but basically he's going after Julie, and then the Maxx kind of gets into it and fighting and all that, and that's the first half. Like this has a jump skip halfway through, kind of like Naruto or any shoujin jump manga. Really, they always do the time jump. Oh, he's bigger now. Speaking of which, that Naruto ending was kind of.
That's for another time.
That's for another time.
Calm down.
The point is, the Maxx is really, really well done. Like if you want a comic that you actually, I'm not saying it's going to require you to think, but something that does require a bit more. You know, than just like pictures. Like the artwork, as you can see here,
it's beautiful artwork.
Is so good. Like I said, really good at like she's not like this is fantastic artwork. Sam Keith, you know your shit. Really good story, lovable characters, and trust me, there's plot twists and turns, and when it turns out, like why Julie got into helping people and everything, it's really sad and really well done. If I was to give this comic book a rating, I would give it Maxx. That's the thing we do now. But no, seriously, I don't know if it's really just so much of a nostalgia bomb for me, because I grew up watching the cartoon, and that's what got me into wanting to read the comics. If you are like me and super old and thinking back on all the mistakes you've made in life and how you got here.
Come back, Chris. It's
anyway,
okay.
if you want to go back to those old times, you remember like the cartoon, if you can find these traits, hunt them down, check it out, or even if you want, pick up the animated series. It's on DVD online. Both are fantastic. I think the TV series is only going to run you like $20 too. So
yeah, it's not expensive.
Yeah, like basically the cartoon series follows the first trade and half of the second trade. So if you like it from there, it just keeps getting better and weirder. Get the books.
It's like watch the cartoon, you like the cartoon, get the books.
Exactly. Too many books. Too
many. I was gonna say just take a look. It's in a book.
Read it, Rainbow.
Are we dating ourselves?
I don't know. I'm old. I'll admit it. But yeah, no, thank you very much for watching whatever.
I forgot we had JP here with us.
I forget about JP most of every time. He's not important to me.
Oh, that's gonna hurt his your feelings must be hurt, JP.
Star Wars. It's okay, we'll go stuff him in a Sarlacc pit somewhere. Anyway, thank you very much for watching us, and honestly, once again, please keep leaving the comments, liking, subscribing. Like I said, we're very close to 100 subscribers right now, or for all I know, we already hit it by the time this came out, in which case...
And if we get 100 subscribers, there'll be something special.
Involving a pepper and a book.
Keep thinking about it, guys.
Keep thinking about it. But yeah, no, seriously, the Maxx. Check it out. I love this comic.
Bye.
Stay classy. Woo!